Hello, and thank you for joining our Global Pet Expo webinar hosted by Spins and IndiePet. We're really excited to be headed down to Orlando and walking the show floor and meeting with everyone. Before we head down to Florida, we wanted to talk through some things that we saw in 2021 and some trends that we're expecting to see and continue to grow in 2022. So real quick, I wanted to touch on our agenda today. We're going to go ahead and talk about Spins and who we are, and also give an introduction to the IndiePet Association for those that aren't familiar. I'll also recap a little bit about 2021. And then we have my colleague Rahul will also be walking through 2022 trend predictions and things we're going to be really keeping an eye out for as we walk the show floor, as well as where you can find us, where we'll be at the booths. And then we'll have some great appendix to this in a follow-up deck where you can walk through some trends that we're expected to see, and a kind of a good walking around piece as you're walking the show floor. So real quick, want to go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Kyle Mener, and I'm a retail account manager here at Spins. I primarily work with pet retail accounts and all across the country. Really excited to have this opportunity to be headed down to Global Pet and meet with everybody. And as I mentioned, I am joined by my colleague Rahul. I'll let Rahul introduce himself.
Hey everyone, my name is Rahul. I am a client insights manager here at Spins for about 2 years now, a little over 2 years now. I'm really excited to see everyone at Global Pet Expo this year.
Absolutely. And then we also have Todd Dittman from the IndiePet Association joining us as well. Todd will be down in Florida, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Todd real quick to go ahead and introduce IndiePet and where they're headed in 2022.
Hi, my name is Todd Dittman, Executive Director of IndiePet, and I want to thank Spins for all of their insights and for giving me a few minutes to bring everybody up to speed on IndiePet. Let me start with the basics, the who, the what, and the why. Who are we? IndiePet is currently made up of a balance of independent and neighborhood pet retailers representing about 1,600 door fronts and roughly 70 manufacturers, distributors, and service providers to the independent channel. Our board is made up of 7 independent retailers who all have experience in both the retail side and the services, manufacturing, and business side of the retail industry. The what of IndiePet, what we're trying to do is we're the trade association representing the independent and neighborhood pet retailers. Our mission is to empower independent and neighborhood pet retailers to work together as peers for the well-being of North American pets and pet owners as they maintain a strong, sustainable, and growing place at the heart of the pet industry. We're going to try to do this by working on programs that educate staff, advocate for quality standards, drive traffic to independent stores, provide resources to expand services, and to improve operational efficiencies for independent retailers. We plan to provide platforms where independent retailers can go to share best practices and network with category leaders in a non-competitive setting. And why are we trying to do this? Well, we've seen a trend towards online sales and mass merchandising in the pet industry over the last couple of years. And we really feel like we need to protect the channel where we all know you get superior customer service, superior product knowledge, and this is the channel where innovation happens. Over the past few months, we've been collecting surveys, researching, and interviewing our members about what they want most from us. These are the areas that we'll be focused on to develop programs and resources over the next couple of years. Growing people to help retailers build stronger, more engaged staffs is the first one. We really saw a lot of response from the surveys in this area. The second one is advocating channel integrity to identify and reward those loyal to the independent channel. Then we're going to also look at marketing and awareness to drive traffic to independent stores. Extending the in-store experience, we want to help retailers provide the customer service that the customers, the constant changing customer is looking for. And operational effectiveness is really to help support IndiePet, the independent retailer's bottom line. And then the networking, we want to focus on providing opportunities to share best practices and to meet new partners within the industry. We're calling this our Game On plan, first of all, because it's easy to remember, but luckily the strategic initiatives fit into this, these two words, but also because we know that our members are ready to go. So you're going to see this phrase from us on our booth, on our website, and really everywhere we go. This is our Game On strategy. And we're going to implement this Game On strategy through operational committees. And these committees are going to be made up of all members, and we're trying to balance the committees with both retailer members and associate members to get that perspective and to really make sure that we're focused on the independent retailer needs. We're also developing an advisory panel that the committees will check in with, and the advisory panel will be also made up of a balance of members to really make sure that the projects that they're working on are focused on the needs of the independent channel. So that's what we're doing right now, what we're working on, and we hope that you want to learn more and get involved with IndiePet. If you're going to Global Pet Expo, we will be at booth 2862. Please stop by and learn more about how to get involved. And if you can't make it to the trade show, please feel free to reach out directly to me at indiepet.org, and we'll get right back to you. So thank you very much for the few minutes, and I'll turn it back over to you guys.
Great, Todd. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Really looking forward to the strides you guys are going to make in 2022. So now, for those not familiar, I wanted to go ahead and introduce Spins and who we are. So we're a little bit newer to the pet industry, but we're really working to partner with our independent pet retailers to give them a more powerful view into their business. We're providing benchmarks, really helping them understand their competition. And how exactly are we doing that? We're providing really easy to use dashboards to understand items that are selling in your market that you may not be carrying. That could be great for you to pick up. Understanding pricing trends, where you might be priced compared to others and where you might have some opportunities. Can also run very basic category reviews just to understand the overall performance and truly get that benchmarking where you can understand the context of it, where if you might be up 10%, but if the rest of the market is up 20%, you understand where you fall there. So just being able to benchmark yourself against the rest of the competition and easy to run dashboards in our Satori platform is really ways that we're working with our retailers to ensure that they are up to date and making the best decisions for their business. We are also a trusted data provider for the IndiePet Association. We really have the same mission in mind as the IndiePet Association to really help grow out this independent pet channel and ensure that you are armed with the right tools to attack and be better prepared as you meet with big box stores and go to compare and be able to go to bat against them. We really understand the passion in the IndiePet world, and we are trying to match that and really going to grow with you guys. And we are looking forward to where you guys are headed and what we're going to do in 2022, and looking forward to having you join us for that. The next thing I wanted to do is recap 2021, like I was mentioning. So this is just some high level data that we are looking at, breaking out the different sets of data that we have. So we have our Spins pet channel included. We also have a look at our regional and independent grocery channel, as well as our conventional channel. So basically the three different breakouts and kind of the different areas of channel sales that we're seeing. So one great thing in 2021, as we kind of came out of the pandemic a little bit more, we saw some return to the neighborhood pet channels that we love here. And we know that there's the additional value that you guys are providing in store, and really being able to see the pet retailers or the pet consumers return to those retailers. So we saw a great 12% growth in 2021. So well over 3% or 3 times what we saw in the regional and independent grocery, and almost double what we saw in conventional. So it's great to see that return to your stores there, and we hope that we can help continue that growth. We also saw a great uptick in natural products in our Spins Pet channel, and incredible growth in the specialty and wellness, which you can see was down pretty significantly in regional independent as well as conventional. So really being able to lean on you guys as leaders and innovators in the marketplace, and being able to see those consumers go back to those true good roots, like the stores that we know and love. Also wanted to go ahead and touch on the different categories that Spins codes out data for right now, including pet care and wellness and food and treats. We saw some great growth kind of across the board here. Leading the way was our pet toys, collars, and apparel. So that was up quite a bit, almost 23%. We also saw some great growth in pet treats. We're starting to see more functional benefits kind of built into those treats, and the growth there has been pretty phenomenal, and we're expected to see very similar ways to utilize that. So I really like where we're at in 2021, but obviously as we start and take a look here at 2022 and where we're headed with the channel, I want to go ahead and pass it over to Rahul to kind of give us an eye on what we should be looking for as we walk the floor, and kind of as we head out the rest of 2022.
Great. Thank you, Kyle. So thank you to everyone who is joining us today. Prior to Global Pet, we wanted to give you some trend callouts we have been seeing in the market and our data today. And just keep in mind, these trends have been growing in either pure dollars or awareness within this past year. So starting off, in many of these trends, you'll see similarities carrying over from human consumables to pet consumables. Organic and natural, along with additional functional benefits, will continue to be a huge driving factor for product growth. Owners are looking for foods that not only mirror their own diet, but include fresh ingredients, high protein, and are functional to their pet's health. So just to name a few functional benefits, health, digestion, mobility, skin and coat health, and joint health are just some of the functional benefits that pet parents are looking for in their pet's food and treats. And look for functional ingredients such as glucosamine, CBD, hemp, pumpkin, probiotics, flaxseed, collagen, and fish oil products. And as you'll notice, many of these functional ingredients do mirror what we look for in our own supplements. So in the past 2 years, humanization in the pet space has skyrocketed, and it's driven mainly by the increased adoption rates during COVID. If we had to put an age group on it, it's mainly by the millennials and the Gen Z age group, where the push for more health-conscious pet food and treats has been greater more than ever. Pet parents are putting their pets on a similar diet to mirror their own. The expression of humanization of pets revolves around owners treating their pets as their own children and reflecting their own diets and looking for similar characteristics to their own food choices. I like to think that the best rule of thumb is to ask yourself, would I eat that? So pet parents are always seeking out alternative sources of protein with more nutritional impact and less environmental impact, or in other words, sustainability, which is another trend we'll see a bit further down in this deck, along with more human-grade fresh food options. Speaking of fresh food options, while shelf-stable dry kibble dominates the market in consumables, frozen refrigerated products, along with different forms other than dry, have grown in the market extensively. So this just goes to show that pet parents are trying new things for their pets, and while a pet's diet won't majority be raw, wet, dehydrated, and freeze-dried foods, they are using these as either as toppers or additions to the regular dry kibble diet. Food and treats in these breakdowns are minimally processed, not undergoing the extrusion process that general kibble goes through, which neutralizes vitamins and minerals you will find mainly in fresh foods. Something we hear all the time, CBD. CBD saw a return in interest from pet parents in 2021 after a very slow 2020 year. And while we are home with our pets more often, being home has contributed to a rise in attachments, which in turn can cause attachment anxiety. So according to studies done by Rover Dog Panel, the demand for training and anxiety solutions are much higher than pre-pandemic. And you can see that by the bottom graph that CBD has come quite a long way. There has been a lot of growth between that 2019-2020 period, which is also the same time period that CBD blew up for human consumables. A slow 2020 and then it really took off back in 2021. And interestingly, growth in CBD has focused more in the form of chews and treats versus oils and supplements. CBD chews and treats are just an easier and more affordable delivery option for pets at this time. So when you do create your CBD sets or you're looking for CBD products, you will see a more bigger variety in chews and treats out there in the market today. So in regards to awareness of trends, transparency and sustainability are two major focal points of the pet space that have started to really garner more attention. Although it did start a few years ago, you'll see more articles come up now about transparency and sustainability options. Transparency in pet food is based upon a brand that is publicly honest about all ingredients in their products. As I talked about before, pet owners, especially newer pet owners, are looking for cleaner and healthier labels when looking for pet food. They want a product that is equally nutritional and sourced credibly. A major reason attributing to the growth in the frozen refrigerated space is due to the inclusion of raw and fresh foods, where ingredients are easier to identify and there is less processing. Additionally, while majority of pet food is mainly chicken and beef, brands are exploring alternative sources of protein. As the population of pets continues to increase year over year, the drive for alternative proteins will be a big push. And these ingredients can include fish, insects, and other cuts from animals such as organ meats, some of which can be extremely dense in nutritional content such as iron in liver. Along with sustainability and ingredient sourcing, as we talked about in the previous slide, there is also a big push for brands to make packaging more sustainable and reduce overall waste. Pet parents, especially millennials and Gen Z, are looking for products that are more sustainable, traceable, and reasonably sourced with environmentally friendly packaging, meaning less plastic, more zipline closures to improve shelf life, and having an overall smaller footprint in the environment. So we also wanted to touch upon some cooling trends, and these trends, they have been on the rise the past couple of years. When I say on the rise, they've been on the radar quite a bit. In terms of grain-free, it has been a big focal point since the DCM announcement back in 2018 for nearly about 2 years now. The share in grain-free versus grain-in has remained around 55 to 45 respectively share range. As sales have normalized and with no further news regarding DCM, we should see this remain steady in 2022. Another cooling trend we're seeing is, of course, that dry kibble or shelf stable in general will continue to remain steady with majority share in the market, but look for growth, of course, in that raw, frozen, refrigerated, those fresh food options as human grade pet food, and the call for transparency in pet food continues to grow.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Rahul. I really appreciate that. And definitely stuff we'll be keeping an eye out for as we walk the floor in Orlando. And speaking of, we wanted to make you guys aware of where we're going to be and how you can find us when we're there. So Rahul and I will be at booth 1013 representing Spins. We'd love to have you come by and talk through how you can join our channel, how you can get access to this data yourself and really stay ahead of the curves. And then you also can stop by the booth at 2862 and meet with Todd and his team to talk through the things that they're doing and their continued growth into 2022 and beyond. So thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to meeting everybody down in Florida, and we'll have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.